Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for coming today to the Stormwater Board meeting for the town of Cedar Lake. It is 6:32. We call the order of the meeting. If you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, to get us started, let's do a roll call.
Thomas Frick, Dan Enright,
Here.
Ryan Leesick,
Here.
Don Oliphant, Jill Murr, Eric Bozma,
Here.
Robert Carnahan, and Wendy Schmidtke. And we'll recall Don. Don.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think either the adjacent storm manual or the sanitary, or they get compaction between them.
Do you want us to dive tomorrow?
Let us see if we can crack it open first.
Okay.
Hopefully it's pretty obvious. Hopefully it's like a joint or something.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any.
Alright.
We'll see.
So that wasn't a reconstruct area. Well, actually, it may have been right at the end of it, I think.
I think so, yeah.
So there's something wrong with it.
Oh, yeah,
Stay
stay
here.
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 Yep, okay.
Sorry.
What an entrance.
You really just started, sorry.
So in reviewing the minutes from April 13th of this year, May 11th from this year, June 8th of this year, and last month of September 14th, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Yes, you have to. Okay. Dan Enright,
Yes.
Tom Frick, Ryan Leesick.
Yes. All right, jumping into old business, drainage issues at 9080 West 129th.
I have not received a response from 2 of the 3 adjacent property owners. I sent another certified letter out today. Don has easement documents prepared that would go over to legal if we could get compliance from the property owners. We'll give it 30 more days and see if we get anywhere. So that's an update on that item.
Okay. Thank you. And then is that property going to be, are they building that house already? Is that what they're doing?
They built the west one.
Yeah,
This
it's
guy
almost
is,
gone.
this guy's built. This guy's still leaking.
Yeah.
That guy.
And then that one's cleared out.
This one's cleared. This is not, nothing's built on it,
Nothing's
alright.
built on it. Nope, it's cleared out.
Yeah, they own another, they live in another lot in the subdivision. The owners.
Update items, as it pertains to Sherman Street, if there's nothing that has been done, we'll just skip over to Chuck Becker at 7513 West 136th Avenue.
Sherman Street, though, weren't we leaving that on for this month to see if we had heard from anyone?
There we have it.
And I haven't heard anything.
Again, it's tied to a larger project or a singular project that's $100,000 plus.
So, might as well just keep that one on until springtime.
Okay.
That's up to you guys. We kind of had gone back and forth on that one.
Yeah, we haven't seen the original, what were their names? Old pumps. I think you're right. Yep. We haven't heard from them since the original meeting they came to. So, we can keep it on there and just keep an eye on it.
Okay. All right, then moving on to Chuck Becker. I believe there is processes moving forward with that.
So the pre-application that was submitted, Rick did hear back that we could submit the application, so he is working on that process.
Okay, and I think yes, and the email says, by November 19th, so that's actually a pretty quick window.
Mhm. So we'll provide, don't know the timing. We probably won't have an update then until the January meeting, if we don't have one in
What's
December.
November 19th? I didn't hear.
So November 19th is, so we, the town had to apply in order to be eligible, from the IDHS. And then if approved eligible, then they can apply in order to, go on to the full application for the Becker property.
And the 19th is the cutoff date?
Yes.
Okay,
November
thank,
19th.
that's what I didn't hear.
And our next meeting's the 9th. So, be a little gap there.
Okay. And then moving on to Lynn's Way on Carriage Street. I did receive a phone call last week that, they just wanted, property owners wanted an update, just where they can start moving things back to normal kind of thing, and where they're at with everything in the project.
I got a report from Tim that the pipe is in the ground, it's all been replaced, and restoration is going to be worked on.
Tim said
Everything's settling.
he prefers that we do it in the spring. So that would mean them not putting their fences back until the spring. Best case scenario. If they want to put it back, can't stop them. The trench, what I heard has been left kind of high to let it settle. Tim doesn't want to seed it until the spring.
And regrade it.
And regrade it. So ideally, to regrade it, we would love for the fences not to go back up.
Yes.
But we can't stop them, and I'm sure some people will be kind of peeved for 5 months without a fence, with a fence gap.
What about the temporary fencing?
We can put that back.
I could put it back, or is it back?
I don't think it's back yet. They literally just finished, I think, on Friday.
They got the snow fencing, it's like on people's patios. Because we had to go out there last week and put another one up for a family that actually had like a little thing for their kids, but it was like, looked right on the patio. So they're pretty much, most of their yard has been taken up. So,
I'm not following this. We have an easement with a pipe in it that we just replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And what does homeowners' fences have to do with that easement? We're gonna let them encumber the easement again? Is that the plan?
No, well, since it's such a large pipe and it's rather deep, we need some time for that trench to settle.
No, I
Yeah.
understand that part.
Well,
I'm talking about,
But in order to final grade it before we seed it, we probably would like to get some type of power rake in there off of Bobcat. So preferably, we would not want their fences to go back, because we don't have access then. Otherwise, doing all that,
because we would
Oh,
have
it's
to
up by
re-take
hand.
the machine back in.
no, I understand that part. I'm asking, why are we allowing a fence to be put back up on that easement? Why, doesn't the town have an ordinance that says, hey, you can't go on an easement without a special permit?
I believe the fence permits, or at least how they're handed out, and Julie, correct me if I'm wrong, is that, yes, they can do it, but it's up to them to take it down if we ever need access. Because there's easements everywhere. There's pretty much easements in almost all rear yards. So you can't really say you can't have fences in your rear yards, otherwise it wouldn't work.
Well, I mean, I can't put a fence on my neighbor's yard, you know.
Well, that's
Any more
property.
than I could put a fence, blocking a road. You know, that's an easement to me. That's what I'm questioning
I
here.
think originally we were hoping for homeowners to be able to put their fences back up once we got the project done. But knowing how deep this pipe is and the settling that's gonna occur, odds are they might have to go all winter without their fences. So that might be
No, that part.
something that we might have to discuss with,
You just don't want to put
with
it back.
individual
Well,
homeowners.
I'm saying that, why are we allowing them to encumber the easement again?
We are allowing
We
them,
learn-
they are essentially, the way, I guess, precedent has gone, they're allowed to do it in the easement. But if we ever need access to whatever's in that easement, even not us, that could be private utilities, it's really on the homeowner to take down, remove, and put back.
I would believe we're trying to be reasonable to some people that, you know, have animals or children, that if they want to put their fence back up while this is settling, and it's reasonable to do so, it's at their expense to take it back down so we could get in there, and they just need to know that.
It really
I think we're
depends on
just
the
we're trying to be reasonable, but I don't have, you know, Tim's not here, so I honestly can't answer that question.
And to be honest with you, Dan, if this thing was actually put in correctly from the start, we, A, wouldn't have replaced it, we wouldn't need to get in there. 95% of the time is we don't need those easements, especially in newer subdivisions. This one's just an outlier. So, I understand what you're saying, Dan, I do.
I'm just having a problem with that, I just am.
No pun intended, but we're playing both sides of the fence.
Yeah. And, okay, well,
I think if a resident has a concern about the timeline, they can call in at Public Works, and Wendy can field some of those calls for us, and we can coordinate with Tim discussion on that.
Okay, but
The ultimate goal is in spring that'll get restored, so.
Yeah, 'cause by the time that
Fence will need to be
settles, we'll be into November outside of seeding times, and it's not gonna work.
that should be emergency at that point.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate we're this backed up into fall now, but it's just timing's not gonna work to see this year.
Okay.
And hopefully by next meeting, we'll probably give you a cost on the overall project too. It's well under what we planned, just based on how we went about buying the pipe and the contractor.
Good news.
Be substantially less.
All right, moving on to Public Works projects. 137th and Lowerman.
So in talking with Tim this morning, they anticipate having that project complete before the end of the year. So it's kind of fitting it into the schedule down at Public Works when they can get that installed.
Yeah, I spoke to him about it yesterday, he mentioned something about maybe having PJX do it, just to get it done, because he knows how short-handed we are, so.
And PGX also did, that's not on here, but they did the Albano.
Yeah.
So they did the Albano property,
Yep.
and so didn't we make a motion to not go ahead and do that?
It was done. We'll leave it at that. We had been out there several times after everybody else had been out there, and it wasn't going away. So they installed a 6-inch line under their parcel and a 4-inch perforated tile to the south onto the new parcel. So it's done. Again, needs to be seeded. There are a lot of utilities there, just like there were on Lindsway. But Lindsway had a bunch of their services cut, that's my understanding. They were so tight that when the backfill started settling, it just snapped them. So, kind of knew that might have been a problem. There's a lot of utility, that's where all the service fees come in for AT&T and Comcast.
We're talking about Cary, or are we talking?
Cary.
Okay.
This one has ones that are more parallel,
Yes.
but they're real shallow too, is what I understood.
And PGX did a good job doing it.
Yeah.
Tyler and I went out there and looked at it, so, yesterday.
I believe originally we were not going to do anything there, but then after we had received some more rain, staff had gone back out there, our town manager, director of operations, Don, other staff members, after periods of rain, went back out there, and it was realized that a smaller project needed to be done there to connect other property owners into the system. So it's not just helping out one parcel.
connect some kind of sump pumps too.
They connect all the sump pumps into it too. They were all buried. Well, new one wasn't buried, but the Albano's was buried. So that was likely causing part of the problem of the perpetually wet backyard.
But they dropped another basin,
Yeah.
to the south of that too, and connected that house on the corner as well. So there should be no problems in the future,
Shouldn't be.
I'm hoping.
Perforated tiles and solid wall tiles are in there now, so 4 and 6 inches. So,
Okay.
should solve the issue.
All right. Jeff Bone,
Bungie.
strike 12, sorry.
Eric, Tim had mentioned something about a gas main in that area that you guys were looking at. Or not necessarily
That's
looking
your-
at, but
You're probably gonna have to ask Wendy, because she was the one that contacted them.
I called in locates twice, and the first time they said there's an end of main there, so it would require further investigation by NIPSCO. So I called again. I never heard back from the end of the first locate, so I called again, and they called me with the same thing, saying there was an end of main. So I called him back and said what they needed to take care of that, so that should be done this week.
So is there a valve at
Final
the
locate.
very end?
I'm assuming, I don't know, because Tyler and I, right after our meeting, we went over there. We started cutting his trees down right there, we put out marks where we wanted the culvert pipe to go, his little swales, and then all of a sudden, we called locates, they told us we can't go over there and get it. There's a gas main there. And
Did they even locate it, or?
Did
They
they?
sent somebody out, but then
They-
they had to reissue it because there's an end of main there, so they need somebody else to come in and do something.
I've been noticing through town a lot more, they've been putting these signs up where it says, do not excavate, do not excavate. So I don't know if that's something that the locate people are doing,
Or somebody's hit something lately. Yeah, I don't know.
but, I mean, we were ready to go, and we were gonna do it, but they told us not to dig over there, so
Well, they didn't even paint it out or anything?
I don't think so. I haven't been over there since, I don't even think it's even been flagged or anything,
Nice.
so.
So when he finishes, he's supposed to let me know
Okay.
when it's done with the locate.
And then we're gonna have to go from there, because if there really isn't something in the way, I don't know where we're gonna dig. I mean, if we got a small window there to begin with,
May not be an option.
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, the pipe shouldn't be that shallow, that if there is a gas main there, it better be 2+ feet down. Should,
Yeah, no, Jeff's got a problem, man,
yeah,
and that would be, I'd be worried about that.
yeah. 'Cause it's probably steel, so,
Oh, I'm sure of it.
it'd be an old 2-inch steel line, so.
we'll update you next month.
It's not on here, but what's going on at Harrio's?
Oh, we have an update on that too. Their town's going to put the pipe in, Harrio's will buy the pipe, I think it's 60 feet of some type of, either 12-inch ductile, I think is what it is what Tim told me.
I,
So Public Works is going to install it, or somebody like PGX, but we are going to take care of it. We're kind of sick and tired of placing whose responsibility it is right now, so we're going to take care of it. But that's Tim's plan.
the Director of Operations wants us to do it this week.
Then maybe the director of operations should pay for it, along with Harry O's. I'm sorry,
Harrio's is.
this is a pretty damn clear, right-of-way, according to UDON in the past, according to the town in the past, that was the Indiana Department of Transportation's responsibility, and we're just gonna cave in now.
Well, that is our interpretation of it. NDOT's interpretation is that it is the town's requirement for any enclosed system. I
You know,
agree with
again,
Dan, but NDOT's not going to budge.
You know, and why are we then? That's my point. This is the part I don't get. why are we admitting to something that we don't think we're responsible for? They're doing the same damn thing, dragging their feet. We don't want to pay for it, you pay for it. Hey, you know, what do we have the state of Indiana, what do we have Indianapolis for? What is Niemeyer doing about this problem? Our fine, how about the fine senator we have, Mr. Niemeyer, or Aylesworth? Is Aylesworth in charge of that property? Is that his, or whose is it? Why aren't we, as a town, pursuing and saying, this isn't us? Are we gonna be responsible when they widen the road?
No.
When they decide in 2 years they're going to do something different with the, well, you know, again, I'm just
I
a
agree,
lone
yeah.
voice, it seems like, for this, you know, against everybody else in this town. Yeah, we'll just give everybody what they want. We're gonna dig a hole in front of a private citizen's home, but we gotta stop because we don't know what's under there. Well, according to what was reported to this board, it's on private property. You know, it's not my responsibility to take care of my neighbor's flooded driveway. It's just not.
I agree with you, Dan.
Well, you know, again, Don, I'm glad you agree with it, but the bottom line here, as far as I'm concerned, is, you know, we might as well just give everybody everything,
Part of
because that's what we're doing.
Part of the issue now, though, it's sat there so long, it's going to become a public safety issue at some point.
You know, if I have problems on my own property, and it becomes a safety issue, am I responsible to fix the safety issue?
You are.
If my house burns down and I don't have insurance, and a rubbled building stands till I get enough money to have somebody come and clear the property.
So you are. This is where it gets delicate. Those pipes are within a right-of-way. So they are not on private property. They're in a right-of-way. I'm not going to say whose right-of-way. They're in a right-of-way.
Do we
We are not fixing a driveway
No,
culvert in
anything
somebody's
else.
private property. This is in a right-of-way, whether it's a state right-of-way or local right-of-way.
What would happen, seriously, what would happen if the state of Indiana said, we're not going to plow Route 41 anymore? Would it be, would the town say, oh my God, we've got to plow this road now? I'm sorry, you know, you guys can give all the stuff away you want. This is wrong, and I want to make sure that the record shows that Dan Enright is against doing anything in the right-of-way of the Indiana Department of you know what I mean.
Yes.
INDOT.
The record showed it passed minutes too, so.
Well, I want to reiterate it because this shouldn't even be an issue.
But I mean, besides
It
just
was
like,
already decided.
besides it just being a nuisance of the owners in up Harrios complaining, and it's an ongoing battle, and, you know, NDOT county's not gonna get off their butts to do anything about it. You know, I do think there's honor in the town stepping up, but the town can't be the bank for all these projects, and when the town needs actual money to replace equipment, do their own projects, that gets pushed to the side.
Sorry, we don't have the money. Sorry about that. We don't have the money to give you. You know, I mean, how long are you guys gonna be doing this, Jill? Just giving away, you know, stuff like this. I mean, literally, giving it
I cannot
away.
answer that question, Dan.
Huh?
You would need to talk to the town manager and the director of operations.
Well, they're never here. And they're never
Dan, I
here.
cannot answer that question.
And they're never here.
Oh, I cannot answer.
And I can
that
understand why they're not here, but that's another issue entirely.
Well, my professional opinion on this, since we went back out there again today to look at it, a culvert pipe is not just gonna fix the problem. The basin's broke, it's probably 50 years old. Once we start messing with the pipe, it's gonna break the basin. So now you're talking about having to drop the basin in there. The parking lot on both entrances are just busted up and just destroyed. There's, on the north side, on the ditch, there's a little half concrete wall that holds the culvert pipe in. I don't know, are we supposed to put that back in? We even walked farther down over to where they just dropped the basin in, and the Hens and Sons building, they have I think it's green PVC pipe going south, but coming out into the ditch, it's still a corrugated pipe. So I don't know if they connected together or what the case may be with what they did.
They should replace any of it.
They're in the middle of,
They're supposed
they're running a sidewalk over there too, so.
Did Dick Hen, pay for his, what you're talking about?
I don't know.
He dogs, so he has a detention basin in the rear, kind of northwest part of his property up here. You can kind of see it. Well, it's not on here obviously, but it's this little grassed area
Yeah,
back here.
Cause he just made a driveway
Yeah, he's a driveway here
right on the other side of
and one
the
here.
ditch line.
Yep.
And then now they were out there today, they were putting, a sidewalk. I don't know where it goes to, it goes in the parking lot, but there's a sidewalk.
It's not public sidewalk, I don't think. I think you gotta pay for it.
And then on the other side, on the liquor store side, there's also a basin that's on the corner there too.
Those are blind,
Yeah.
there's a couple blind connections there. Nothing
So-
doesn't drain. The only thing the Hens did to it is they essentially doghoused over
Yeah.
it and attached their outfall to their detention basin into it. They televised that entire system, and it was in relatively okay shape to be replaced in a couple of years.
I mean, I'm just afraid that once we start digging, it's gonna be more than just dropping a pipe in there.
I have no idea what you're gonna find.
And I was
You can't
told,
televise it 'cause
first
it's
I was
law.
told that he's gonna buy the pipe, then I was told that we were gonna supply the pipe, now I was told that he's gonna buy the pipe again. So this is an ongoing,
The property owner is paying for the pipe.
now he's paying for the pipe.
And is he paying for us to go out there and put it in?
Public Works is installing, the property owner is paying for the pipe.
I
We have
understand
done that similarly for other properties. I cannot give you addresses, I don't know them tonight. But we have done this in the past to help repair storm drainage that ultimately would impact other people downstream or upstream if it's clogged.
But those were our responsibility,
Yes.
not the Indiana Department of
They were
Transportation.
within right of ways.
I mean, you're the engineer, Don, I mean.
One thing I want to
Should
say,
go with your decision.
I don't know what you're gonna find.
so like you're saying, and like what Eric's saying, if we're taking responsibility for this, where does it end on this project alone? If we're opening up Pandora's box, not to mention that it's gonna get replaced within 2 years, correct?
That's what I'm saying. And then we actually found a sinkhole on 129th on Friday on 41 that it might have a culvert pipe going across, north and south, that
I told them about it.
might be broken.
It's broken.
We went and looked at it. We don't have the back truck at this point. It's broke again, but we were told just to Band-Aid it because they're gonna put, a turning lane
Yeah,
right
crossed over, we noticed it. And I emailed INDOT, I don't think I got anything back from them.
Of course not.
So going back to the back truck, the hour of operation, that the value that that provides, in order to get it fixed as well, is somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 to $400 each hour to operate.
At least, yeah.
So if you're gonna call out Badger to do it, you know how much that's gonna cost. But what I'm getting at is just so it's all at the town's bill. And I know it's good to do right by the taxpayers, and like you're saying, I know you guys are trying to do a good job and be a steward to the town and the people that ultimately pay taxes. But it's hard to say that this is the town's problem.
I'm a taxpayer.
You
I pay taxes to
absolutely,
the
yeah,
town, I
absolutely.
pay taxes to the state, and the reason why I do that is because I want them to be responsible for the things that they're responsible for. And I'm sorry, pushing, you know, saying, you know what, we want to be good Joes here, doesn't really do anything for me. My taxes are paying people's salary, you know. I have no problem with, that's what perturbs me about this Indiana, the state of Indiana. They want to cut everybody's taxes and be good Joes to everybody, and then not be responsible for what they're supposed to be responsible for. And then we just let it happen. And then when we go and ask for something that we need as a town, they say, sorry, we don't have any money. You'll have to do it on your own. Or you're going to have to go on Tuesday and talk to the Department of Natural Resources, the zookeeper in Kokomo. You know, I mean, so many damn excuses on why we're not going to do this. Well, 2 years. So then I guess Harry O can wait 2 years to have that fixed. I'm sorry, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but this just, to me, is just dead wrong. Dead wrong.
And then if we do start something, and like you're saying, you don't know what's in there, and you have to do a basin or...
What happens if while he's working there, or if his crew is working there, and a semi goes off the road and kills someone from our town? Or maims them, or cripples them forever? Well, you know, we'll be good Joes, and we'll build a ramp for them, for their house. You know, we'll be good Joes. I'm sorry, you know, the responsibility is cut and dried on Route 41. The state of Indiana, because it's a federal highway, gets money from the federal government, which I also pay taxes to, that they're reaping money from the federal government because US 41, and because that part is a state highway. Well, you know, but we're only kidding. It's only to get the money, we're not going to spend any. You know, God forbid something tragic happens there. You know, I'm a construction worker. For 45 years I was. And I know the hazards of working on roadways. They're not fun.
No.
And again, the companies that I worked for did everything they possibly could to make it as safe as possible. We don't have 5 extra guys to have people blocking the road and chase vehicles for the project.
No, we don't.
We don't have that. So they're out there bare with backhoe or a dump truck, or whatever it takes to move this pipe, and whatever. I'm done. Sorry it took so long. You were right. I would be mad at this.
But that's why we have that's why we meet every second Tuesday of the month, is to go over these decisions and vote on them and have...
We already voted on them, and we were overrided. Somebody overrided us. But, you know, I'd like to make a motion and say that the town manager and whoever else is making this decision to be the flagmen for these guys. And let's see what happens then.
But
this just hurts me so bad.
I lost my train of thought. The point that I was making is to put the onus back on the board, and you know, it's not the town's responsibility to play favor keeper with everyone in town and do their bidding. It's, you know, well, the board did it, it was the board's decision, blah, blah, blah. We don't have a say in it in the extent of these different things, but just to have that as, like, you know, put the onus back on the board. The board did it. It's the board's decision. If you have a problem with it, spend your lovely second Tuesday evening at the town hall. But to be honest with you, I don't know, there's just something wrong with this. And it's this is an expensive project, right? By the time you factor in their costs and the equipment that's going to be out there,
A couple $1,000s.
Mhm.
At this juncture, but we, like you guys say, you don't know what's out there.
And don't televise it, totally clocked.
Yeah, because we can't get a camera in it because it's broken. So we have no idea what it's gonna be like when we open it up.
Been told 60 feet, but.
Yeah, it's about 60 feet.
Call ABC, see if they could, borrow you a camera. I'm sure they'll rent you one.
Okay,
I mean, we'll have to block their other entrance too, because that basin's in that other entrance.
Mhm.
So we'll have to dig that entrance
Two
up
of
as
three.
well. So there's two entrances that we're really gonna be messing with. I never got the full gist of it. I was just told, just go out there and do it.
I heard about it today.
Yes. And I've been hearing about it for weeks on this. And you also gotta factor in, there's a gas line right there too.
Of course.
Oh, don't worry about the gas.
Probably
They're pretty tough.
It's probably a bigger guy too.
I mean, if we have to do it, we'll do it. But there's situations in this whole thing that just don't, like Brian said, just, they don't seem right. So,
so maybe that's something we'll have to talk about with, Rick and Tim as well, so. All right. Moving on. Public comment. Sir, if you please, state your address and name to the microphone.
Hi, my name is Contractor Munidhar. Contractor is my last name,
Oh,
and I'm from Cary Street,
okay.
That we recognize you.
and the project is going on, so
Yeah.
all of us, even including all my neighbors, we would like to know when do you think so it would be completed?
Did you arrive after we went over it?
I think he did.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I'm sorry for that. I was told that it is at 7 o'clock, so sorry.
Oh, that's right.
Pipes in, pipes totally in.
Yeah.
The trench needs to basically settle before we can get in there and actually final grade it. So the intent is to let it settle for a month or two and then seed it in the spring.
Okay. So we should put our fences afterwards, or?
We would prefer that you leave them down because we likely will have to get equipment back there to final grade it and then seed it.
Okay.
So that's our preference, yes.
So we are talking about 2 months, 3 months?
It'll be in the spring. We'll be out of seeding windows by the time that settles, is the problem.
Okay.
And we'll just, like Brian said before, if we seed in a month, it's just gonna be bird seed and it won't take. So, unfortunately, how long it's taken, we'll have to wait till the spring to seed it.
But if you put your fence up, you'll be required to take it back down when they go back to, seed it and power rake it
Yeah.
And grade
and
it.
get it once over and grade it over.
Oh, so then I have to take it back again?
I'm sorry?
If I put it, then I have to take it back again?
Yes. But if you keep it down over the next 4 or 5 months, springtime comes around, that'll be fine, and you'll just have to put it back up at that juncture.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Are you going to help us in putting it back, or no?
I do not believe so.
I don't know.
Is that correct?
I
The
do.
fence? The town's not helping put the fence back, no? No.
No. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anything online?
No, sir.
Okay. Move the October Stormwater Board meeting to adjournment. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great night.